Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we salute you.
This is the story of New York Special Olympics as told through the eyes of Kevin Reed, a Special Olympics coach and the author of A Season for Dreams. The book is based on the actual experiences of Coach Reed and one of his athletes, Timmy Shaw, the main character in the novel. This television show is intended to introduce you to the exciting world of New York Special Olympics in order to heighten your appreciation of the novel and show you the kinds of courageous people who were a part of this noble organization. New York Special Olympics is a year-round program of sports training and competition for persons aged 8 and up with mental retardation. More than 25,000 athletes are registered in the program this year, the 20th anniversary year of this relatively young organization. The training program includes 22 sports, ranging from track and field events to ice skating and from swimming to floor hockey. In each of these athletic endeavors, there are hundreds of coaches from communities all over New York State who selflessly give of their time so that Special Olympians can experience the joy of winning. Author Kevin Reed, a fourth-grade teacher in the Lansingburg School District near Troy, New York, was one of those who came forward to volunteer.
Well, it was about 6 years ago. I went to the state games, the summer games, and it was at Albany. I went to volunteer for a day, loved it, and then decided I wanted to get involved and answer an ad in the paper next year, and I've been going ever since.
Any particular high points in that period of time?
Oh, there's a lot of high points. It's really, it's something that you can't count, but I would say one of the best things was an athlete that we had in association with him, Timmy Shaw. He passed away, but I was fortunate enough to know him for 3 years before he did die, and he was just a wonderful person, and he was an inspiration to all of us.
And he obviously was an inspiration to you to write a book.
Yeah, we've been working on a project. I wrote a fiction juvenile for junior high students called A Season for Dreams, in which the character of Timmy is portrayed in the book, what he goes through. He had a heart operation, genetic impairments, and some of the things that he had to go through. A lot of it's what happened in his life. Basically, it's what he was, what his character was. His relationship with his grandfather, who was trying to recover from cancer as well, and the two of them had a need for each other. And what I tried to highlight in the book was how special the Special Olympics program is, and how the Special Olympians are just very unique individuals, and they have very unique gifts. And Timmy certainly did, and all our athletes do. I think Timmy taught us that if you look at somebody, no matter who it is, if you look long enough, you can find something special about them.
Kevin Reed spends a good deal of his time coaching special athletes who live near him in the Saratoga Springs area. Besides summer-type sports such as track and field events, basketball, and floor hockey, Coach Reed trains athletes in cross-country, or as it is also known, Nordic skiing.
Pop, you don't have to be brave for me anymore. Don't you know I know how sick you are? Don't you know how grateful I am for the pain you have endured for me? I am the luckiest person in the world to have a grandfather like you. I wish I could tell you this, exactly this. I want you to hear every word, every thought. Timmy, it's time to go home. Pap needs his rest. The nurses have to give him his medicine. Why do you say Pap? Everyone calls him Pap around me, and Pop to everyone else. I know my own grandfather's name. He waved his mother away and took Pop's hand. He didn't ever want to let go. I wish you knew how I felt. Sign language and lip reading are great, but it isn't the same. It just isn't. I feel so frustrated. Molly watched her son from the doorway. Her heart went out to him. She couldn't count the times Timmy had walked away from her mad because she didn't know exactly what he was trying to say. This was her father's third trip to the hospital since Christmas. Each time she thought his life. But he kept coming back. He had some unfinished business, and he never left anything undone. He had made a commitment to see Timmy through to the Winter Games at the Concord. He was always a believer in goals. It had been his goal to coach Timmy back to health, and he had succeeded. Though, looking at him now, she didn't know exactly how. She owed him a debt she could never repay, her son.
Marge, Kevin Reed's book, A Season for Dreams, is loosely based, if not actually based, on your son, Tim Shaw. Tell me something about Timmy and his life as a special athlete.
He really didn't get into Special Olympics until he had finished the school at St. Mary's School for the Deaf in Buffalo. He had been involved in the Saturday Bowling League before that, so that he had started some Special Olympics. But once he was out of school, and having been a person who liked to be athletic in purpose, you might say, and interested in all kinds of athletics, he was just so pleased to have something to be doing. Even at St. Mary's, he hadn't been allowed to take place in competition because he was too old in regular school competition. And I think when you feel that the retarded have just as much excitement about basketball games and running and all that sort of thing, this was a wonderful opportunity that we had.
So he really blossomed as a result of this sports training and competition.
Played basketball. Kevin was one of his coaches in basketball, Kevin and Art, and they also were right there with track and had him going, getting run, and they really were able to spur him on to new heights. He really blossomed under their tutoring.
Bill, what did Special Olympics do for the Shaw family?
Oh, I think Special Olympics was a tremendous influence in our life. It gave us an opportunity to really realize that there were many people worse off than we were, and that these people were not, the athletes, were not someone to be overlooked, someone who really could give something to society. And the people who do the coaching and brought these skills that these people have out, they not only have done a service to these athletes, but in my opinion, the Special Olympics, they've just shown the world that these kids can do something. And this is what it meant to Tim. He was able to do something. He was somebody when he was able to do something like that. And that was a big thing to Tim.
In order to tell the story of the author and his book, we followed Coach Reed to the New York Special Olympics State Winter Games at the Concord Hotel in the Catskill Mountains, and to the International Special Olympic Winter Games held this year in the Sierra Nevada Mountains near Reno, Nevada. You might think that Special Olympians would have a tough time picking up a sport like skiing, but former Olympic skiing star Billy Kidd, himself a Special Olympic volunteer, says special athletes can actually pick up the sport faster than non-special skiers.
Well, surprisingly, we found at the first Special Olympics in '77 at the Winter Games that the Special Olympians learned faster than most of the people that came through the Steamboat Ski School. And we thought that was, you know, kind of strange. Everybody said, oh, skiing's too complicated for Special Olympians. But when you think about it, most people who don't ski think that skiing's really complicated, very dangerous, very difficult, and they start out with a negative attitude. The Special Olympians say, sure, that looks like fun, I'll try it, and they go out there, and pretty soon they got a big smile on their face, and they're having a great time. Then what we found is that the sports program, what they learn how to do on the playing field or the ski slopes or the ice skating rink, they take out to the rest of their lives.
This year's New York Special Olympic Winter Games, held at the Concord Hotel in the Catskills, was the biggest ever, drawing nearly 700 athletes and hundreds more volunteers and families from all over the state. Two of those athletes are David and Robert, both of Saratoga Springs, and both coached by Kevin Reed.
How long have you been cross-country skiing?
3.
3 years? Very good. What are your chances that you're going to go to the National Olympics?
I don't know. I think I can do it.
Good luck to you, Dave. How about you, Bob? How long have you been skiing?
This is my second year. Only twice.
first time I went, I didn't think I was going to do good. I did good the first time. I come up here the first time, I got a first and a second the first time here. I didn't do them all.
It looks like you know what you're doing today.
I feel pretty good. I don't mind going with it. I haven't been the second year. I was the first time I've done it in a long time.
So
I
how many
jumped into it.
how many hours a week do you train?
When I have time, I can train. I'm not always with them guys. I do on my own.
So what kind of things do you do to train, to get prepared?
Try to do some stuff you gotta do. Go out and do it. Go out on your own and go down there and do it. Get yourself, move your legs and your arms. Get most of your stuff you can, your exercise you gotta do to get prepared for it.
David and Robert were so good in cross-country skiing that they became alternates from the New York State delegation to the International Special Winter Olympic Games in Reno, Nevada. Coach Kevin Reed took 5 New York Nordic skiers to the 10,000-foot-tall mountains of the West and competed with the best from 49 other states and 15 foreign countries. It was exciting to compete where the Winter Olympics were held back in 1960. And it was equally exciting to be in the presence of celebrities such as Patrick Swayze and Olivia Newton-John, who presented medals to the winning special athletes. And of course, one of the beauties of Special Olympics is that everybody wins, because it's so rewarding just to be involved. And the joys of being involved in the New York Special Olympics program are not limited to the athletes themselves.
There's nothing I enjoy more than getting home from work, and if I have a bad day or something, if I go to the Special Olympics, if I go to practice, the athletes are there with smiles, and all of a sudden the day isn't so rotten anymore, and you can't pay for that.
And what do the athletes get out of it? Well, just listen to Nordic skier Karen Cavanaugh from Chateauguay, who competed in the International Winter Games back in April.
I'd like to have fun, try to win, and I like cross-country skiing.
Cross-country skiing is your favorite, and that's your event here today.
Yes.
Karen's coach, Martha Bowen, can vouch for the fact that she really came to life after mastering the sport of Nordic skiing.
When she first started, her whole family skied, but Karen didn't. Karen now skis with everybody else. So it's been, really great. She's gotten to go a lot of places, do a lot of things. Involved her whole family.
So she's been able to be reintegrated into the family through sports competition.
With that particular event, yeah, it's been great for her.
You can see the satisfaction in the faces of the coaches. You can see the increased self-esteem on the faces of the athletes. New York Special Olympics is a winning program for people who are special and for those who want to be. It's like the special feeling you'll get when you read A Season for Dreams by Kevin Reed.
What is in it for Kevin Reed?
Well, it's a privilege to work with these athletes. Where can you go and get a smile like that? Huh? Can you pay for that? They're great, really. They do anything you ask of them, and it's just a pleasure.
What do you think of your coach?
Great. Super.